Hello everyone, I'm Hershel Franklin. I guess everything needs a title, so the title of these videos is Hershel Franklin Reads. It's not too imaginative or creative, but it is what it is. And right now I'm reading to you a book that I wrote, copyrighted in 2009. And the book is entitled One Dog's Story, with a subtitle, The Book About Life. It's something I wrote just to see if I could write a book, but also to see if I could tell the story of a dog I'd had for 15 years. And she was a beautiful and a wonderful animal. Smart, wonderful companion. I enjoyed having her around. So I'm ready to read chapter 3. Remember, when I read something and introduce it as the human story, I'm telling you that what follows that is my memory of what was occurring at the time, my way of telling my perception of the story. When I started out saying the dog story, I'm telling you the story from the viewpoint of Murphy and the dog. So that's it. Now, I was looking, this is the third video in the series, and the first two videos, I watched them. I wasn't totally satisfied with the performance, but I'm not going to redo them. I also noticed that I was wearing the same shirt. Well, there's a blue shirt. No, it's not the same shirt. I have a lot of blue shirts. And my clothing choices are very simple. And every morning I get up, I say to myself, what am I going to wear today? And as my wife's trying to figure out and really worrying about what she's going to wear, I say, I think today I will wear this pair of jeans, and today I will wear this particular blue shirt because it's the one at the end of the line on the hanger rods. So that I just don't make big decisions about clothing. So here I am. Now today I'm wearing a sweatshirt because when it's this cold, and it's 17 degrees outside, when it's this cold, I even in the house, I sit around and I say, what shall I wear today? Well, I think I will wear these blue jeans at the end of the row, and then I get out a sweatshirt and put it on, and that's just the way I dress, and it's who I am. And when you're 80, you can do whatever the heck you want to do. So now I'm ready for chapter 3. Chapter 3, I said goodbye to Mama. The human story. We were going to see the pup on Thursday. I hadn't told my wife yet, but I knew she wouldn't care. She had never seen a dog she didn't want and like and want to take home. We already had her little rugrat E.T., and we had Bo, the boxer. Bo was a good dog, a perfect dog, but he wasn't a good companion. He was too independent, not caring for me or my commands at all. I could take him to the park and let him run, but I might spend the next 3 days trying to find him. Enclosed within the confines of the backyard, Bo was a playful dog that seemed to like interacting with me, but when he got away, which he could do easily and often, it was another matter. People were afraid of him. He wasn't the largest boxer I had ever seen, but he did have an imposing bearing. Perfect in size, shape, and appearance. Bo was born when people were beginning to leave boxers' ears natural. He had floppy ears rather than those cropped pointy ears which used to be the fashion. I was glad people quit cropping their ears because it was painful and did not look any better than the ears God gave them. People often assumed he was a pit bull, even though he didn't look like one at all. But the community and the state were going through a time when pit bull attacks were happening all too often, and there was extensive news coverage of each attack. People were scared of pit bulls, whether rightly or wrongly, and they were unaccustomed to boxers, so they saw what they wanted to see. Bo was not a vicious dog. I do think, however, he would have defended us had he ever felt we were threatened. It was as if there was some kind of an understanding that so long as he lived with us, so long as we let him live in our house and fed him, he was honor bound to alert us to danger and defend us when necessary. I told my wife I was going to get a yellow lab. She said, "Good." The dog story. Mama had explained everything to me, and I was over being mad. I should say angry rather than mad, because we dogs are usually careful not to refer to ourselves as being mad for obvious reasons. It would be my luck to say I was mad at the same time some human learned dog speak. I'd be in hot water for sure if that ever happened. I was over being angry. Mama had calmed me down by speaking softly and telling me the truth. I had never before heard about the agreement our family had reached with the human family a long time ago. It started explaining things, answering some questions I had already been asking myself. We weren't here just to be their pets. That was not the only purpose for us in life. We had agreed to help the humans. We could hear things they couldn't hear, see things they couldn't see, smell things they couldn't smell. We could warn them of approaching danger and fight alongside them if we needed to. It made perfect sense when you thought about it. We were a big help to the humans, better suited for the job than any other animal I could think of. Could a parakeet do what we did? No. A turtle? No. A fish? Oh, no. I know those are silly examples. How about a bear? Oh, sure, they're big enough to help the humans. They can smell and hear and see better than humans, probably as well as we can. And they can sure bite and fight. The problem is that normally they don't like humans. They have no loyalty. And don't get me started on cats. Cats are the most useless and worthless animals in all the animal kingdom. They're totally self-absorbed, thinking nothing of anyone but themselves. I don't know why humans let them live with us. I never wanted them around me. We live with humans because we have an agreement with them. We help them, and in return they allow us to live in their cave, feed us leftovers, and sometimes scratch us behind the ears. Sure, we got paid pretty well, but we work for it. A cat does nothing. It just lives off the humans and gives nothing in return. We like humans. We really do. I like those humans I'd known all my short life, but Mama was right. Those were her humans. I needed to find my own. Those could never be mine so long as Mama was there. I needed humans who wanted me, who would love me, and I would love them. I needed humans to forge that ancient agreement with, humans with a home that would be willing to share it with me in exchange for my helping them. Somewhere out there was a home that needed a dog, and I was a dog that needed a home. The human story. On Thursday, we went to the Red Dog Saloon. I was glad it was in the morning so they wouldn't be open for business, and I hope no one saw me going in. It just wasn't the kind of place I wanted people to think I frequented. The owner had one yellow lab left from a litter of 7 pups. He owned the Red Dog, and even though it was much too early to be open, he was there working, getting ready for his employees to show up so they could be ready for their customers. He agreed to meet us and bring the dog with him. The dog story. Early that morning, I saw Mama for the last time. We just had a little while to say our goodbyes. "Martha," Mama said, "I think I've told you most everything I need you to know. I wish I had more time because I'm sure I've forgotten some things. Do you think you can remember everything?" "I think I can." Mama was trying not to look sad, but not to cry, trying not to cry. But I knew her heart must be hurting because mine was breaking. Listen to your humans, Martha. They have a lot to teach you. I will, Mama. Try not to talk all the time. Sometimes you just need to listen. They don't understand dog speak anyway, so they'll just think you're barking. Don't think you have to get the last word in. Be nice to them, and remember that being courteous is a favorable reflection on me and how I've raised you. I will, Mama. If they have children, be especially kind to them, Martha. I will, Mama. Just love your humans, Martha, and remember that ancient agreement we have with them. Help your humans. I will, Mama. It was all quiet for a while, and then Mama said, and Martha, don't pee on the floor. Mama! My human came in, put a rope around my neck, and led me toward this car. I turned and saw Mama sitting there staring at me. I could see all the pain she was feeling. And all of a sudden, she looked older. I had never noticed that before. She looked old and tired, and I wanted to run back. I wanted to run back to her and tell her I loved her. And I wanted to stay and take care of her. I wanted to tell her how special she was and what a wonderful mother she was. And how all of us pups thought she was the best mother of all. And I wanted to thank her for everything she'd done. Everything she'd done for all of us. And especially for me. Because I'd been with her longer than the others. But all I could do was sadly look and say, goodbye, Mama. Goodbye, Martha. I got in the car and I cried. Maybe I could be happy tomorrow. I would certainly try. But right then, I needed to cry. I didn't need to celebrate Mama's life, even though I was grateful I'd been able to share it as long as I had. I needed to mourn her loss. I needed to feel my sorrow. I needed to cry. And so I did. That's the end of chapter 3.